Welcome back to another episode of Magical Insight with Luke Hillis, broadcasting from Fairfield, Iowa. This is a show about tools, practices, and perspectives for increasing fulfillment in life. And the tool and practice of today is taking whatever it is that you really want to be doing and getting started. Getting started. That is the number one, or not getting started is the number one killer of fulfilling dreams. Just not getting started. Getting started is the key. Getting started is the key. So, let me give you an example that pertains to myself and others that I know. I know a lot of people who want to be making videos. They want to be generating content, being an influencer. Myself being one of them. And basically, the story for me and for others is that we've been postponing doing it until we're ready. It's like, well, I don't really have my message that clear. I don't really know my branding yet. I haven't practiced my delivery skills. I haven't really figured out my topic. I don't really want to get started until I know what I'm doing, because maybe I'll lose my chance, or I'll make the wrong impression, and then that'll be it. Or just all these doubts. It's like, and the basic message is that I need to be ready in order to get started. But it's the other way around. You're not ready until you get started. It's not until you get started that you become ready. So when you're waiting for readiness to get started, you never get there, because you need to start in order to get ready. This is the key. So I think of myself and someone else close to my life and others that I know who, it's like, for example, I'll talk about someone who I was giving advice to recently who just started making some videos. And they were saying, gosh, well, I don't know, my videos, I don't feel like I present my videos at the level of quality that I want to. I think I look funny. I don't really exactly know what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And what I told them was, I said, yeah, but imagine if you had started doing exactly what you're doing now with the same level of noobishness as you are right now, but you had started doing it a year ago. And you did it consistently for a whole year up until now. How would you be delivering it now? And the person was like, wow, that's true. If I had started this a year ago, I'd just be at a whole nother level now, just naturally. Just doing, not doing anything differently, but just having started and naturally growing through the repetition. So then the cool part is then, well, if you get started now, then imagine where you'll be in a year. Yes, it takes a year, perhaps, to get to that imaginary place, but then you're there. And if you enjoyed the process, then, hey, that's the real goal anyways. So this is the point, is that, if you want to be an influencer, or if you want to do anything, any kind of business you want to start, any skill you want to develop, any travel you want to experience, whatever, you just need to get started. Just get started. It's really amazing how much that is the big hurdle. As a similar kind of analogy, if you've ever gone to the gym, if you go to the gym for a workout class or to do your own workout, typically you're going to be there for an hour or maybe even more. So let's say an hour. What's the hardest part about doing that workout? It's showing up to the gym. That's the hardest part, is showing up to the gym. Literally, once you get there, the rest is kind of, it's hard, but you just do it because you're there. It's not so hard at that point. The hardest part is showing up. Same thing with practicing a skill. You want to practice a musical instrument, or you're not practicing it. The hardest part is just sitting down to do it. Once you're there, it's like, well, okay, let me do this and do that. But the decision to sit down, writers say the same thing all the time. I've heard of so many famous writers who they had just a rule for themselves. Write 3 lines a day. Why? How can you write a novel with writing 3 lines a day? It's because they weren't writing 3 lines a day. They were writing tons a day, but they needed that little requirement in order to get started. Because if they required themselves to write a chapter a day, or 10 pages a day or whatever, then they would just feel daunted and not even sit down. But if they sat down to write 3 lines, they get captured in the process and then keep going from there. So getting started, that's the big message of this video. Whatever it is, you have a business you want to start. Now, so here, let me give an example in my own life. which I'm not fulfilling yet. Well, I'm sort of fulfilling. So I'm on this journey too. I hope that it's clear that as I'm making these videos, I'm not attempting to present myself as the be-all, end-all of these principles. But I am practicing this principle by making these videos myself, and in other areas of my life too. So I've always wanted to make some kind of a school, basically. And to me, everyone has a different connotation for the word school. To me, a school is just a place of learning. It's not necessarily defined to an age group or any demographic or have certain subjects. But to me, it would be like a school of self-development. And I guess I do tend to focus on like late teenage, early 20s sort of age group. That's been what's in my mind typically before. And it would be just like a training grounds of everything that I found to be actually really valuable in life. Because I think a lot of what we study in school is not that valuable in life. It could be, but it's not presented in a way that it feels relevant. That was my experience with most of my school education, and I think most people that I know. So things like, like fitness related stuff, and like how to pursue your goals, and how to start a business, and how to, win a partner, and how to, emotional development for feeling confident, happy, and travel related stuff, and finance related stuff, all the things that are the real subjects of life once you finish school that you actually think about and stress over or feel joyful over. I've always wanted to do something like that, and I had this idea. It's like, well, I could just hold a workshop. So I have done this actually. I've held multiple workshops, or like a 1 hour workshop or like a 2 hour workshop on something relating to life strategies in some way that I think is very relevant. And that's getting started. Now that's the key, is just to get started, not to get caught up in the whole big thing, that you got to be ready for the whole big thing before you even start, because then you'll never even start. The way you get ready for the whole big thing is by starting, and then you naturally develop your mastery of everything that's involved. And just think about this. Life is long. It's short, but it's also long. It's long if you're present to doing the things that you really want to do. If you are, in your 20s or 30s, you probably have at least another 40 years to do most anything that you want to do. Maybe you're not going to be a professional athlete, but aside from, exceptional athletic performance, you can do almost anything else in life up until your 60s or 70s if you maintain, or even later. I say at least. I expect to live longer than that. And I have tons of role models around me who are in their 70s and are healthy and able to travel and have fun and develop new skills. So if you're in your 20s or 30s and you take reasonable care of your health, you've got at least 40 more years to do whatever you want. And if you're not in your 20s or 30s, suppose you're in your 70s. If you make it that far in life, there's a reasonable chance you'll live another 10 years. And what can you do in 10 conscious years? What can you do in 1 conscious year? If you're like, I really want to make this year count, and you weren't worried about much, if you decided, hey, you know what? If I die in a year, I'm ready for that. How am I going to live this year of my life? Like, you can do a lot in 365 conscious days. The point here is, you got time. You don't need to do things perfectly. You can get started imperfectly, and with repetition over time, you will develop whole new levels of whatever it is that you're doing, just naturally through your own repetition and engagement with the process. Good to see you. I hope you have a great day. This is Luke Hillis with Magical Insight, a show about tools, practices, and perspectives for increasing fulfillment in life. If you like the video, please share it. Please subscribe to the channel. Please leave your comments or reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you, and I look forward to seeing you and talking with you soon.